Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Scrap Squad Sunday. And unlike I was supposed to do, I I am filming this on Sunday rather than filming it on Saturday and scheduling it. And I have no excuse other than the day got away from me yesterday. It was not a particularly, it was, you know, people say there are good days and there are bad days. Yesterday was kind of a bad day, but it was helped by the fact that Barrett helped me move some pots around that the guys moved when they built the wheelchair ramp. And I've got everything kind of ready to get soil and plants and even seeds. And we did some planning. He actually wants to be involved in selecting plants and caring for them, and I love it. He did things like that with his Grandpa Tom in Kentucky, and he loved it and felt useful, and it kind of gave him, I think his Grandpa Tom instilled in him quite a few good characteristics, the perseverance and the hard work and so forth. And he lost his Grandpa Tom last July, and then he lost Grandpa John this February. So I am happy that he feels he can get close to me, and I love it. He's always been interested in plants. He used to, when he was a little tiny boy, he used to like walking out in the garden with me. So here is the lift for this week. It's an incredible page by one of my very favorite scrappers and one of my very favorite people in the world, Morag Cuts. And she did this as part of the design team for the Hip Kit Club. And some of the things I like are, it's got this white background kind of setting wonky on a pattern paper frame. It's kind of a whimsical page with a couple black and white photos of her daughter, or a young girl. I'm not sure the relationship there. She's got a tag with some kind of curling twine and some hexagons and flowers. So I'm going to do a page about Barrett, actually, since we're talking about him. I'm going to use this large photo of the field at a track meet. I finally got out. James and I went out, not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, to one of his track meets, and it was a nice sunny day. As you can see, we're wearing sunglasses there, and I'm wearing a Blues Brothers t-shirt that belonged to John, because Blues Brothers was his very favorite movie. He was, a fanatic. So there's Dan Aykroyd wearing sunglasses. There's sunglasses in this photo, and I've got a small black and white that I can insert over here during a part of the photo that's not particularly relevant. I'm going to punch my hexagons, and I kind of thought I would use this paper. I think it's an Amy Tangerine. I don't know. The strip is gone from it. It didn't come from a paper pad, and the branding strip has been cut off. So I must have planned to use it before and didn't do it. I like this, but I actually thought I wanted to, the journaling is about how it was kind of hard going to a game. It's the first time I've gone to one of Barrett's sporting events that John wasn't there beside me, kind of providing the color commentary and telling me what was going on, or, commenting on where the coach should have put Barrett in and didn't, and so on and so forth. So it was different, and not, not horrible. I enjoyed the game. So what I thought I'd do is, since the page is kind of about the fact that John was missing, and I used a filter that kind of gave a grid. It filtered the photo and all the white spaces. It's got kind of grid lines, and you can kind of see them even in the green grass there. So that kind of reminded me of ledger paper, and which reminded me of the funny story I have told many times before, that our first Christmas together, we were making lists of what we wanted, and he wanted a ledger book. And John was kind of he was not an accountant by profession, but he was an accountant slash money manager slash financial planner at heart. And so I found this ledger paper in this basic gray pad. We get a Calvin ballpoint for using a product from a company that's no longer in business, so I did basic gray. It's from the Hey You collection, which I believe was a paper pad and a collection of embellishments that they produced for Joann's. I don't know, it was a 2012 collection, so it was one of the later collections that they made before they went away. So I'm gonna kind of put that aside. And I've got out, for my hexagons, I'm gonna go with, I wish we still got the cream and white together, because there's cream and kind of a like burnished, antiqued sort of background. It's like a very old piece of ledger paper. And these papers have a lot of white in them, although I don't have to use those. I'm going to, Morag actually distressed the edges of her hexagons, and in some of them she framed them, but that really kind of added to the dimension that's there. For the florals, I'm just going to get really simple, and another way to add John to any page is to put a sunflower. So I'm going to fussy cut this sunflower, cut it. I'm not quite sure. I may just use it all together, but I've watercolored that in his favorite colors. One of the reasons he liked sunflowers was because of the bright, sunny, orangey, yellowy kind of colors. So I've already watercolored that, and I'll fussy cut it later. Let's get the hexagons punched right now. Now I have 3 different sizes of hexagon punches. I'm going to cut 5 hexagons, and I'm going to frame them all in this teal color, which came from the Fancy Pants collection that I used yesterday. So I'm going to cut with my largest, and then I'll cut the different patterned ones out of with my next size smaller. I won't use the tiny hex punch this time. Okay, so I got them all out of that scrap, and I can actually use that as a template. So I like this gray with stars, kind of partly because it satisfies the star requirement, but I think it will look nice with the photo I've got. Okay, some little cutouts there. I may go back and cut some of those out. I like this, kind of adding that teal. The lines on the ledger paper are sort of teal-ish. This has a lot of white in it. I'm going to go for this one, and I'm having trouble grabbing hold of it. Okay, that's 3. Let's see what else we can do. I kind of like this one. Ooh, and that one. And I've obviously already used those. I can go with this. This has arrows, so technically I wouldn't have to have arrows. And this is a kind of a, okay, those are appropriately masculine colors, and kind of what I'm going for here are, this would have been pretty there, but it's kind of not the color scheme I was going for. So I'm going to put that aside. The sunflower is going to be just startlingly, in startling contrast to the rest of the page. Let me get this guy fussy cut here. I'm going to try to do it so that I leave the, there's a part in the photo that are leaves. I can use those on a different page. And I started to just use this where it wasn't colored, and I thought, no, that the colors of that will really contrast nicely with what I'm using on the rest of the page. I'm trying not to get real precise with this fussy cut because for a masculine page, I'm kind of not going for a really precise, beautiful flower. I'm going for a, this flower reminds me of John flower. So, and I'm going to, because we built the wheelchair ramp, and it has a handrail that helps, was meant to help him get up to the front yard more easily than the way we had been, than going up the stairs and stuff like that. I'm gonna take these embellishments and kind of put them aside. I think I'm finishing cutting paper, so I'm gonna put it on top of my trimmer. Have this out, let me get this done. I have a, yes, I wanted to mat this and I wasn't sure I had anything big enough. So let me do that before I put it away. Anyway, there's an area of garden kind of up towards the top. I said I was finished cutting paper, but I'm not. Towards the top of the ramp, that's very sunny. It's the southwest side of the garden. So perfect spot to grow sunflowers, but I never had anything, it was never appropriate to grow them because they get kind of tall and gangly, and I didn't have a good way to anchor them. And, you know, without, I didn't want to put kind of ugly stakes over on the neighbor's side. It's in full view of their front yard, so I kind of wanted to be considerate there. So we never grew sunflowers at this house. We have at others, but and I could do this with scissors, but I'm not going to. So now that we have that rail, I can plant the sunflowers, and by the time they get tall enough, I can actually tie them with those invisible ties and stake them, and connect them to the railing, and then they're kind of there for us to see, and they're not an eyesore to the neighbors. So, and my neighbor is just awesome. Barrett was helping me move pots, and there was one pot that has my Buddha belly bamboo in it, and it's a huge ceramic pot. And let me back that one as well. I'm gonna be missing some here, but that's why God created embellishments, right? So when Barrett was having trouble lifting it, and I actually was showing some restraint and didn't try to help him, our neighbor was getting ready to leave to go somewhere with his wife and baby, and he came over and spent a good 15 minutes helping get it up onto the ramp and then kind of rolling it down. This I'm going to back in a different teal color, or do I want to back it? Let me back it with this vellum. I'm going to put it right there. It'll have a hint of a matte, but it won't interrupt. It'll seem to not be interrupting the photo that I'm going to layer it on top of as much as if I had a solid. There, okay, let me put that there and that. Okay. So I'm going to back this with this ugly gold foam. I need to cut it here. This photo is either 5x7 or 6x8, or however, it was as big as I could fit on the 8.5x11 sheet that I was printing my photos on. It has to be larger than a 4x6 to get the large photo point. So I'm going to do this. And I'm going to try to be as true to Morags as possible while still scrapping the photo and story. Let's see, I want to put, I can put this down here. And then this can maybe go here, and then I'll put maybe I'll overlay a hexagon or something there. Anyway, I'll put an embellishment there. Let me get some of this. Since I did that on that side, I'll do this over here, since there's a little bit more sky there. Okay, so I'm already somewhat off book. I can put a tag here or even a tag there. So we'll see. I want to use this stamp. It's a rainbow, and I thought I might use it. I tell you what, let's do. Let's take this off for the moment. And I'm going to stamp it right there, and then I'll kind of overlay that. Overlap that. Now, if I hadn't colored in the sunflower, what I was planning to do was color in a couple of the rainbow, the little streaks in the rainbow. Okay, that works. And then I can layer some other embellishments on top of that. This can go here. And you and I know that there's a rainbow back there. Okay. So I'm not going to put all the Calvin ball points on here. I think I'm just going to leave the sunflower whole and then group hexagons just around on this side. And I'll have these two clusters. I'll have all of my embellishments in those two clusters. And Christina will be proud of me. Let's see. I really like how that stands out. So I'm going to distress the inner hexagons in my design here. And I possibly should have done this off camera, but I didn't. So we will deal with it as it comes. And again, I'm just going to cut a strip off my foam tape so I can kind of stick it on there. And we'll go, I'll kind of overlap that one, and I'm going to have them going this way with the points going side to side and the flat part so that it can line up. That's another reason I like using grid paper or ledger paper, is because it has guidelines that actually keep my elements straight. Otherwise, I just eyeball them, and it's not until I've photographed them, actually, usually, that I notice that that they're a little off kilter. Okay, and get this on here. I'm gonna kind of I'm not exactly going to overlap them. I like how that goes kind of off to the side there. And I'm going to actually cut the video short. I hear something in the next room that is requiring my attention. I'm actually, I'll tell you before I leave, I have some of my small elements here that I'm planning to use. I'm going to use the same technique of cutting around this, and that'll be my unicorn. But I'm going to use this washi tape to create a frame around it. And it won't be a wonky frame like Morag's, which I love, but it kind of fits in with the theme. I don't know where this washi tape came from. It's very old, one of the very first rolls I owned. And I think it's going to, it lets the colors and the grid show through. I just don't want to do the distressing and stuff on camera there. Anyway, it lets the color of the paper shine through, come through, as well as the lines. So it's similar to the lines that show in the photo. That filter is from the Waterlog app, which is, and the one that, there are several different filters. I usually use either Vivid or Bold, and this one is called It's Technical, and that's because it has that grid back there, so it kind of has a technical look. So I'm going to stop it here. You kind of see where I'm going with it. I'm going to use all of these things. I'm going to use a horse for my farm animal because it's running fast, and so was Barrett in this race. I'm going to fussy cut a few books from here. I plan to use some blue sequins to kind of pick up the blues. That's the Centennial blue. I'm using teals and then this bright orange elsewhere. So I'll use those 3 enamel dots and finish off that sheet. I'll probably find a heart in there, or actually I think I'm going to use a perspective heart, and I'll probably cut a bit off of a doily, and I'll make a tag out of something, and I'll do something to cover this up, but I'm not going to do it at the moment. So thank you for watching. I will finish this and post it in Scrap Squad and around a few other places. Bye.